2 Peter chapter 1 verse 4.
Yep. All right, Shalom.
Shalom.
First foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakudash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that rule well and teach well, that taught us this truth, and Shalom to the hopeful elect, the sincere brothers and sisters scattered planet Earth that have returned to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. All right, whose real name is Yahweh Shai. All right, and the Heavenly Father's name is Yahweh. All right, and this is all through the Spirit, the Spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. And in this lesson, I'll entitle it, "For if that which is done away was glorious, much more that which remaineth is glorious." And Corinthians, the 3rd chapter and the 11th verse. And we're going to touch on that precept. And essentially, the main idea of that chapter, Paul is basically, like he does in a lot of his epistles, he distinguishes the old covenant from the new covenant, and he points out clearly that we're looking forward to the new covenant because the new covenant is a better situation, it's a better deal, and it's really the situation that the Heavenly Father intended for us from the beginning. So we're gonna get into that. I know I said I wanted to start with that. Let me read this. We're gonna start in Exodus 34, and that's definitely gonna come out though. Got the brother, Tashai with me.
Shalom.
So Lord's willing, this lesson is edifying. I'm gonna start here in Exodus 34 and verse 1. It says, matter of fact, the header of the chapter is the 2 tablets replaced. All right, and really that's important too, because something that we often touch on. All right, when Moses was originally given the 2 tablets of stone, they fell and they broke. Which really was symbolic.
He cast it down on the people because they weren't ready to actually obtain the joy and mercy from Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai.
Yep. And then when he came down too, they were doing the idolatrous. They were what they made the molten calf.
The golden calf.
The golden calf.
They took their servitude earrings and they melted it down to make a golden calf idol.
Yep. So really, before you even go into this chapter, Exodus 34, you gotta go back and understand that the tablets were broken, which was symbolic, of really the old covenant not being the end all be all. That was never meant to be established forever. That was established so that we could, establish ourselves as a nation. And so really, so prophecy could be fulfilled, and we ultimately be brought back to Yahweh Shai. Anyway.
So we could know that we aren't perfect.
Right.
That's what those tablets represent. It was just a sign to have something to think upon Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai on. All right, but it wasn't the end all be all because we're only saved through mercy and faith of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai.
Yep. Right. And a matter of fact, just to precept what we're saying, this is Galatians 3:24. It says, "Wherefore the law was our schoolmaster to bring us unto a Mashiach," right? And when you go into that word schoolmaster, it goes into basically a tutor. And when you consider a tutor, like you go to school and you get a tutor, you're not supposed to have a tutor forever.
Nope.
The whole point is so that you get the understanding of the class.
It's an aid. Somebody can keep you in line.
Right.
Just like the commandments. The commandments was meant to keep us in line, and keep them on the forefront. To not steal, to not kill, to not do the things that the other nations do. All right, and we could go back and reference back to it to keep it on the forefront of our minds.
Yep, and another interesting point too is when you go into that word schoolmaster, it's specifically a male teacher.
Yeah,
and it's a teacher of boys. Which what is that? Proverbs 8, talking about how the Lord deals with men.
Yeah,
Lord is dealing with the men.
How B'Shem Yahweh Shai only deals with the man because and a man has testes, What is a testy? I mean, to testify.
Right.
All right. Women can't bring out this word.
Mm-hmm.
All right. They can't be instant in season and out of season because they have other priorities.
Yep.
Okay. Only a man can show forth the ways of Yahweh Shemi Al-Shai. Plus the order. All right. First is Yahweh, then Yahweh Shai.
1 Corinthians 11.
Yep. If you got it, but
you want me to get it? I can get it.
Yeah, Shai.
Yeah. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 11. Excuse me. Typed in verse 1 or chapter 1. 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 1. It says, "Be," and it's the spirit too. You know, 1. You know what I mean? But anyways, it says, "Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Hamashiach. Now I praise you, brethren, that ye remember me in all things and keep the ordinances as I delivered them to you."
See, so he was keeping the same things that. So he was being a doer of the word and not a hearer also, but continuous to life.
Yep. It says, "But I would have," verse 3. "But I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Hamashiach is the Most High."
You know, so it shows you the proper order, and this is supposed to be implemented in our households and in our daily lives. Hell, in our places of work. You know, this is proper order. Okay, as you can see now, this world is completely out of order because they are trying to misconstrue how we conduct this in our daily lives. But you got it. I don't want to get too far off the point.
Yep. And when that's applied properly, you know, especially when we got the new bodies and we can't go off, you know, there can't be any fault, you know, in our nation. There can't be any sin, you know, and that's what we're going towards. This really couldn't be accomplished in the old covenant because, again, we were in the flesh, you know. So you're gonna fuck up. Yeah. You're gonna fuck up in the flesh, but then again, we were never created to be mortals. We were created to be immortals.
And that's in that Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2 and verse 23.
Right.
All right. How the Most High, especially the nation of Israel, we were supposed to be rulers over all the other nations. Okay. We were supposed to be rulers over the Moabites, over the Ammonites, because they were created to be in servitude. And that's what we're going back to. Just like we're going back to our glory, they're going back to their glory under us.
Yep. It's a beautiful point because when you think about it, like rulership, that's why when you read about the heavens, sometimes in the scriptures, it's not talking about, you know, the firmament or the sky. Sometimes heaven's going to rulership.
Yep.
Because when you're in a position of rulership, you know, you have the ability to basically forward your legacy over and over and over and over.
You know, Sirach chapter 10. You know, it goes into the right way to rule and who is going to set up over us, which is Yahweh Shai, and then it goes into the wrong way to rule and looks at and compares Esau's kingdom to the kingdom of the nation of Israel over with Yahweh Shai over us. Okay. So is order proper sense and order in the wrong sense? You know, if I'm speaking correctly.
But
Bible Shai, you got it. I want to get back to the list.
We're gonna go ahead and hop into Exodus 34. I'm gonna read down. This is Exodus 34 and 1. It says, "And the Lord said unto Moses, Hew thee 2 tables of stone like unto the first," right? The ones which were broken. It says, "And I will write upon these tables the words that were in the first tables, which thou breakest."
So he made a second copy.
Right.
You know, even though, you know, it was deep for him to, all right, but it had to get to the elect of that time, all right, because the whole nation was going off, all right, but the elect of that time needed to hear these words that Yahweh Shemel Shai gave Moses. You got it.
This is verse 2. It says, "And be ready in the morning and come up into the Salakia, and be ready in the morning and come up and present thyself there to me in the top of the mount."
And if I may say one more thing, this is giving me a recollection of that. I think it's Ecclesiasticus whenever Moses went up into the ark and received the tablets, all right, because he was a more excellent. But he was of a more excellent stock. He was chosen by Hashem outside to receive, just like the elect was chosen to receive what was written, but he broke them.
Right. He was the mediator and knew, the old covenant.
Yeah.
And really he's King David. He's Peter. He's Peter. So he's the next entity under Yahushua.
He's able.
Kind of.
If
you can receive it. Right. This is Exodus chapter 34 and verse 3. It says, "And no man shall come up with thee, neither let any man be seen throughout all the mount, neither let the flocks nor herds feed before that mount." Right. And that really, because you can spiritually extrapolate on everything that's taking place. And really that goes to the holiness of this thing, the exclusion that the truth, entails. Or in other words, this truth ain't for everybody.
Nope.
And then even within the truth, you got levels, you got layers within the truth.
Because there's order.
Right.
There's a proper
rank.
Order. You got rank time.
And the scriptures outline that and give you a visual for that in 2nd Ezra 2, which I also probably going to end up coming out, because when you read 2nd Ezra 2, it's the crowning ceremony on the mount, which is when all the elect are really going to go, in the presence of the Lord, and receive their crowns. And
that's Wisdom of Solomon 5 as well.
Right.
Wisdom 15. But I'm sure it's
no, we good. We good. Nah, we good. We're gonna take our time. This is Exodus chapter 34 and 3, or verse 4. It says, "And he hewed tables of stone like unto the first, and Moses rose up early in the morning and went up Mount Sinai as the Lord had commanded him, and the 2 tables of stone. And the Lord descended in a cloud and stood with him there and proclaimed the name of the Lord." And they show you basically that was when the Lord came down on the fathership on a chariot, or not. Let me not say the fathership, but a so-called UFO, a so-called UAP, which are the chariots of the Lord.
And that's when he burnt the top of Mount Sinai.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's that Sirach, I think it's 45 that goes into it. How he, we ain't gonna get it,
mm-hmm.
but how he came down to speak to Moses.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just to say, so
yep. It says, "And the Lord passed by before him and proclaimed, the Lord God, merciful and gracious and long suffering and abundant in goodness of truth, keeping mercy for thousands, forgiving the iniquity and transgression and sin, and that will by no means guilty, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children and upon the children's children unto the 3rd and 4th generation." Now, if I may, that right there proves that wasn't the end all be all.
Mm-hmm.
The scriptures say that the wages of sin is death. So that, again, that's why Yahweh's sacrifice was so necessary and so crucial, because the entirety of our nation really was considered a dead man walking until that sacrifice.
I came back and pardoned
mm-hmm.
the transgressions, of the elect.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to keep on harping on that, because he didn't pardon of the whole nation. Right? There's a 2/3 and there's a 1/3. Okay, and because the 2/3 are going to die on this side. All right, but the 1/3 is going to be immortalized forever. We have call up, but
yep. And I'm gonna jump to 2 Corinthians 3 real quick, just to link up those two things, because again, if the old covenant was the end all be all, why is the Lord telling us right there that he's gonna have to have mercy? You know what I'm saying?
Again,
you know what I mean? That's telling you something. That's telling you that we were gonna go off. It was a part of the story. You know, but this is 2 Corinthians 3:7. It says, "But if the ministration of death, written and engraven in stones, was glorious, so that the children of Israel could not steadfastly behold the face of Moses, how shall not the ministration of the Spirit be rather glorious?" You know, and we're going to touch on that as we read through Exodus 34, because when you read it, it tells you how when Moses was dealing when Moses was communicating with Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, right, that glory made his face shine, you know, and he came down and he wore a veil when he was talking to the people, but when he was in the presence of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, he took off the veil, you know. But that's going to be outlined, you know, when we keep reading. Did you have precept right there?
You want to pour this Hebrew 8?
Yeah, you got it. Or if you think it's a good time, Bible shot. Yeah. Do you think it's a good time?
Well, Hebrew, I'll start at 6. This is Hebrews 8:6. It says, "But now hath he obtained a more excellent ministry."
Talking about Yahushua, right?
Yeah, you know, by how much also is the mediator of a great, of a better covenant. You know, better promises. All right, so you know, it's just like the brothers going into. All right, the old covenant was a promise to the nation of Israel. You know, but we couldn't upheld everything in it. You know, and since we couldn't, how about Shimei Shai made Shai come down and die for the elect to what's that?
Redeem them.
To redeem them, but to bring it back again.
Reconcile.
Yeah. To bring a better promise again, you know, in a Bible shot.
Can you read that again, Bible shot?
It says
better promises first.
It says he is the mediator of a better covenant, which was established upon better promises.
Yep, because then too, you got to think about it like this: you can't read about the new bodies in Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28, when it outlines the curses, and the blessings, where does it tell you about the new bodies? Where does it tell you about the laws being written on our inward parts?
But we still had shit to go through.
Right.
Just like now, we still got stuff to go through before he, you know, closes everything. Yep. Before he shuts shit down.
Yep. It was a schoolmaster. When you need a tutor, that means you be fucking up. That means you don't understand.
that means that you need somebody to help you with your homework.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
You know, you need somebody to help you discern and learn how to take notes properly. You know, like they once did whenever they had a schoolmaster. All right. So you're not the teacher yet. You get it?
Yep. That's a beautiful point, bro. Because we know, pursuant to matter of fact, let me just pull it so we get some precepts. We know that when the elect come off the ships,
they're gonna be perfect.
They're gonna be perfect. They're gonna issue out the Lord's judgment. All right, and they're gonna help the Lord restore the earth. But we're also gonna teach. They're gonna teach the nation. We're gonna teach the other nations.
Yeah.
But before we can teach, we gotta be taught.
We gotta be taught,
and we gotta learn. We're learning how to learn. We're learning how to, apply.
We're going through those baby steps. You know, to grow up a little bit and start, you know, walking properly. Then we're gonna start jogging. Then we're gonna start running. Just like it says, I think it's that Wisdom Solomon 3, how they run like sparks. Yeah, well, that's Obadiah. You know, but it's the same thing, because we're going to intake what how by Shemel Shai gives us to there's a word. It's not popping in my mind.
We're gonna be superheroes on the planet.
Pretty much. You know, we're gonna regurgitate what how by Shemel Shai has given us. Right? And we're not being heart. it's going to be through the will to power how about Shemel Shai every step of the way. But let me finish this. It says, for if that first covenant, that's what you was talking about, if that first covenant had been faultless, so therefore it had faults.
Right.
Okay?
And the fault was with us.
Yes, because we are in this sinful flesh, these chains of darkness. Okay? It says, for that first covenant has been faultless, it says, then should no place have been sought for the second. So this Hebrews 8:8 is talking about the second covenant, which is how about Shemel Shai is made for the elect.
Right.
Just like Yeshua died on the cross, the sins of the elect was nailed to the cross.
And if I may, as the scriptures say, all Israel is going to be saved, right? But the elect, as the brother's saying, there's going to be a distinction because the elect are going to be the ones that actually reign with Yahweh Shai.
And going to get caught up on that first go-round.
Get caught up, going to reign with Yahweh Shai.
Those are the ones that are not going to die, on this side. All right? They're going to walk into the kingdom.
Or if they do have to martyr, they're going to be resurrected. And then they're going to be beamed up in front of everybody.
We got to pull it now.
I got a precept. And then what did you want?
That Wisdom of Solomon 4:15 and 16.
I'm going to read this and then I'll get that. This is Jeremiah 31:31. It says, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of doesn't mention Esau, doesn't mention fucking Moab, all right? Elam. This is only for Israelites. Okay. This is a Romans 9 scripture all day. It says, not, verse 32, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that covenant they break, although I was a husband unto them, saith the Lord.
Because how about Shemel Shai was married unto the nation of Israel and Judea. Okay, but I wanted to finish out this Hebrews 8:8.
You got it, bro.
Verse 8, it says, for finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh Shemel Shai, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Okay, so he read it in Exodus. Hebrews, it's the same thing.
Or Jeremiah 31.
Just like Jeremiah 31, but still,
right?
Old Testament, New Testament,
right. Same
word, same prophecy, same blessing that's going to be upon the nation of Israel.
Yeah, and if I may, Paul was specifically chosen to bring out this insight due to his upbringing, due to his journey. He was the perfect.
And he was sent out not to the nation or not to the Israelites that knew that they were Israel. He was sent out to the diaspora, right. Or to those that was in the heathenistic custom. Okay, so he was sent to us. He was because we were in that Gentile state of mind. Okay, but Baba Kushai, could you pull that Wisdom of Solomon 4:15 and 16 because it goes into the same thing. All right. Whenever Paul was sent out to the elect of the nation of Israel that was in other countries, speaking different languages, being a Hellenist or a Hellenista, he was sent there to rein them in, to bring them to the understanding, but Baba Kushai.
Wisdom of Solomon 4:15, it says, this the people saw and understood not, neither laid they up this in their minds, that grace and mercy is with his saints, and that he hath respect unto his chosen.
See, the other nations saw Paul calling out to the nation of Israel, and they didn't know what was going on.
They wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah. It's like, oh, he's talking to all of us. No, he's talking to the particular ones that Yahweh Shai wanted him to get.
Yeah.
But Bible says
Yahweh Shai said, "Go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel."
Huh.
Now I'm gonna jump back.
Yeah,
I'm gonna jump back to Exodus 34. Let me jump down. Okay, this is Exodus 30. He said, let me just keep reading what I was reading. Exodus 34. And Moses made haste and bowed his head toward earth and worshipped. And he said, and that lets you know that he was in the presence of Yahweh Shai. Yeah. He was in the presence of the Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai.
Yeah. He was showing reverence. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's what Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai wants. He wants all of us to do.
Later on in Joshua, was it Joshua 5? Not Joshua 5, or Judges, maybe Judges 5, where the angel of the Lord presented himself before Joshua. And Joshua did the same thing. He made obeisance.
Yeah.
He got down and he bowed, touched
the earth. He prostrated himself.
Right. It's the same thing that Moses is doing. You know, letting you know that the Lord and Yahweh Shai were dealing with Moses and Joshua, leading them into the land. You know, this is Exodus 34 and verse 9. It says, and he said, if now I have found grace in thy sight, O Lord, let my Lord, I pray thee, go among us, for it is a stiff-necked people, and pardon our iniquity and our sin, and take. So basically, he's pleading because he knows Jake wicked. Yep. Moses had a thorough understanding. It did not take Moses long to understand that Jake is wicked. Like,
bro, he was second in command to Egypt. Right? Moses knew that the people were wicked. He was talking with them back in his sinful days. All right, and you know, Jake was through, man, and we still are today. Yeah. Just like the elect of this time, we have been around Jake as they're going off, and we see like, God damn, this dude a whole mo, you know, nigga 6'5" coming in with his fingernails painted, you know.
Yep.
But just like Moses,
we needed grace. That was the point I was trying to make. You know what I'm saying? We were gonna need grace, a lot of it, you know, and that's what Yahweh Shai represents. You know,
that's like you got.
This is Exodus chapter 34 and verse 10. It says, and he said, behold, I make a covenant before all thy people, and will do marvels such as have not been done in all the planet earth, nor in any nation. All the people among which thou art shall see the work of the Lord, for it is a terrible thing that I will do with thee. And that kind of links up with what you were talking about with the heathen, when Paul was reaching out to the Israelite foreigners, and you had heathen, you know, eavesdropping on the conversation, right? But that's also the same thing that was happening
in Nehemiah,
in Egypt, right? And Nehemiah, yeah. Right? You know, that's always been a thing.
because they always wanted to what nation have not taken part in their spoils. Mm-hmm. They always want to take part in what the nation of Israel has. Mm-hmm. You know,
and the main thing that we have is our relationship we have with Shemel Shah. Sure. They can't. There's nothing they can do to get in that. That's a covenant that's been made.
That's a covenant made by blood.
Right.
All right. Made by blood and passed down from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Right.
I'm about to show you guys.
This is I'm gonna jump down. Matter of fact, I keep the point that the next verse gonna say. So Exodus 34 and 11, it says, observe that which I command thee this day. Behold, I drive out before thee the Amorite and the Canaanite and the Hittite and the Perizzite and the Hivite and the Jebusite. Right, going into the point we just made.
Yeah.
The Lord also said, you know, in Exodus, I made thee this day a difference between, you know, Israelites and Egyptians.
Yeah.
And he made that statement by slaying all the firstborn of Egypt, man.
Good, because none of the firstborns of the nation of Israel that had blood put on their doorposts. But at that time, the whole nation did it. Nobody went off and like, oh, I'm just gonna do myself. Nah, bro. That's only in these times. But how about Shemi Al Shai gonna allow that to happen because judgment needs to be had as a nation of Israel.
Yep.
But Bible show you guys.
This is Exodus 34:12. It says, "Take heed to thyself, lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land whither thou goest, lest it be a snare in the midst of thee." And really, when you teaching that all the nations can make it, the white man can make it, Moab. When you teaching that, that's you really making a covenant with them.
Yeah,
you're trying to supersede the order that Yahweh Shemi Al Shai has established. Which is a violation.
Isaiah 28:15, I perceive. Going into how they have made a covenant with that. All right, they have chosen the ways of this world, and since they have done that, Yahweh Shemi Al Shai has to execute vengeance, as it says in that Luke chapter 19, verse 17, verse 25. If they wish that I do not reign over them, bring them hither and slay them before me. Because if they make that covenant, they're letting another nation reign over them. That goes into so much in today's, standard. Like even with the presidential election and all that, they are hoping for another nation to reign over them, pretty much another God. All right, they don't want to walk with Yahweh Shemi Al Shai. All right, but that's why we needed that new covenant to rein us back in. All right, people were doing all this other stuff.
Well, if I may, the new covenant is gonna make the gap so big because right now we're in the flesh.
Yeah.
So right now the heathen see us. They're like, oh, look at this bunch of niggas.
Just nigga right here, man.
Some funny garments on in the middle of downtown Dallas. But when the Lord changed the elect and bring them off the ships, it's gonna be like, okay. This is the difference between Doctor Strange and a damn a background NPC.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. A mod player,
right?
Like somebody that's just out there trying to do the day to day. It's going to be known who is Yahweh Shemi Al Shai chosen.
Yep. 4:29. It says, "And it came to pass when Moses came down from Mount Sinai with the 2 tables of testimony in his hand, when he came down from the mount, that Moses was not, that the skin of his face shone while he talked with him," meaning that Moses didn't realize that he was glowing.
How much power he had.
You know what I mean? He was, basically marinating in the.
Yeah. What's that? I think it's Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7. So like I'm going to the park all the time. But Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, how wisdom is like a unspotted mirror.
Yeah. Yeah. And a matter of fact, it mentions a mirror. Yeah. All right, let's go ahead. I'm gonna hold that. I'm gonna grab that.
And that's how it's gonna be whenever Yahweh Shemi Al Shai is with the elect, crowning them. They're gonna receive that glow and those new bodies. Brothers gonna be up there crying, drinking wine, Yahweh Shemi Al Shai. It's gonna be a different feel about Kushai.
This is a Wisdom of Solomon 7:26. Yeah. And this she that it talks about some wisdom. Yeah, wisdom. For she is the brightness of the everlasting light and the unspotted mirror of the power of Yahweh Shemi Al Shai and the image of his goodness.
And the image of his goodness. Yeah, perfect. Could you pull that word image?
It's not in the blue letter.
All right, well, the image is the likeness,
right? The resemblance,
the resemblance of who like a young bun looking like his father. Well, it's like a son looking like his father. He bears the same resemblance.
Yep. No, I'm gonna read 2 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 9. Read this again. It says, actually, I'm sorry, verse 7 again, because these precepts is what Paul is referencing, in Exodus. This is the account that he's referencing in 2 Corinthians 3. It says, "But if the ministration of death, written and engraven in stones, could not steadfastly behold the face of Moses for the glory of his countenance. Right. So the old covenant was glorious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a beautiful thing.
It was on point.
You know, it was excellent. It made us superior to all the nations on the planet Earth.
Ooh.
Deuteronomy, the 4th chapter, talks about that.
Sirach 17.
You know?
Yeah.
But if that was glorious, right, which ultimately led us to death, you know, because of our wicked flesh, if that was glorious, how much more glorious this new covenant, the new situation that Yahweh Bashem Shai has prepared for us? And that I was just gonna say, that's why, like in 1 John, it talks about let me grab it real quick, bro. Slack it. Because it came out the other day in camp. This is 1 John 3:2. It says, "Beloved, now we are the sons of God, and it doth not yet appear what we shall be. Woo! But we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him." Because Yahweh Shai he's the mascot, so to speak, or he's the image
that we're trying to
of immortality, man.
Exude.
All power in heaven and earth was given unto him.
And that's what we want. What's that script talks about how we have to put on Yahweh Shai to not be judged, loosely paraphrasing. Yeah.
You know a book by chance?
So like
Lord's will to come to you. Bro.
Yeah, Lord's will.
Okay. Let me jump back. Do you have precepts on?
Nah, Bible Shai. We just rolling.
Kind. Let me jump back to 1 Corinthians 3 real quick, or 2 Corinthians 3. It says, "But if the ministration of death, written and engraven in stones, was glorious, so that the children of Israel could not steadfastly behold the face of Moses for the glory of his countenance, which glory was to be done away, how shall not the ministration of the Spirit be rather glorious?" Really what he's saying is greater.
Right.
And he expounds administration of condemnation be glory, right? Talking about the old covenant. Much more does the ministration of righteousness exceed in glory. Let me click on this word exceed. And if you had a preset, you know what I'm saying? Just want to click on this word exceed. Right? And that's why these bonehead, right? These niggas banging you over the head with a talking about the Torah, talking about the laws, which is not a wicked thing, but it has to be put in its proper context, and that's the point of the lesson. You know, exceed, it says to abound, abundance, to exceed a fixed number of measure, to abound, overflow, to be in excess, to cause to superabound.
So that supersedes over everything.
Right.
You know, that's Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai supersedes over everything. But he's giving that to the elect.
Yep. In the order of Malak Tazadak.
In the order of Malak Tazadak. You know, that's why we can go back to that Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 16, because we didn't bring that part out. I would want you to read it first before I break it down.
I got you. Wisdom of Solomon 5 and verse 16, it says, "But the righteous live forevermore. Their reward also is with the Lord."
Hold on. So like 4 and 16. Salaki, that was on me. One step back.
It says Wisdom of Solomon 4 and 16. It says, "Thus the righteous that is dead shall condemn the ungodly which are living."
See, and the reason why I pulled that precept was because, you know, we died in how about Shemiel Shai whenever he was nailed to the cross.
Mm-hmm.
All right, but he gave us everything that he received. All right, so we were ready to since we died in Mashiach, we were ready to judge everybody else who didn't. You know, like the rest of the world. These 2/3. All right, we had a more sure of understanding. All right, because we were like unto Yahweh Shemiel Shai. But finish it out, Baba Shai.
Yeah, and to that particular scripture too, another aspect too is I forget where it is in the book of Revelation where it talks about the saints basically, crying out in the heavens, right? The ones that are martyred.
Oh, that's Revelation chapter 6, verse 10.
6 and 10?
Yeah, I perceive.
Let me see real quick.
Yeah.
Sure. This is let me see. Yes, the water. Revelation 6 and 9. It says, and when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls of them that were slain for the word of the Most High, and for the testimony which they held. How long, O Lord, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on earth? Yeah. So that links up what the brother brought out in Wisdom of Solomon 4. They're literally going to be in the heavens condemning.
Hey,
you know what I mean? And the Lord is going to hear that.
But you can finish out that verse. It's like I said in the middle of it.
Con, Wisdom of Solomon 4 and it says, thus the righteous that is dead shall condemn the ungodly which are living, and youth that is soon perfected the many years, and old age of the unrighteous.
So judgment is going to get put out. The elect, as the brother just read, the ones that are under the throne will be out by Shania and come back and get busy. Pretty much. If you can probably understand it.
Yeah, and we're being perfected through faith.
Through faith.
And through the Spirit.
Call it out by Shania.
Yep. Like sometimes we talk about how this is like an AP course, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pre-AP course.
This is not, it's a simple thing. It's a spiritual thing.
And everybody can't come into it except for those foundations of the earth to actually receive. Yep. All right. If you can't receive it, it's going to be to your own damnation. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think about that every day. So like, you got
you got it. You on it. Let me see. Let me go back to 2 Corinthians 3. It says, verse 11 again. That was the title of the video. It's from verse 11. It says, for if that which is done away was glorious, much more that which remaineth is glorious, right? Because the new covenant, which we are not in yet, which we are going to enter into, we're in the grace period right now, right? But we're going to enter into it when we're delivered. All right, Lord's will, we're part of that number, but that's going to remain forever. That's a part of the everlasting kingdom. That's a part of the kingdom, without end, man.
World without end.
Yep.
That Isaiah chapter 47 and starting at 15.
Yep. There's not going to be another new covenant after, you know what I mean?
Nah, because what did Howard Shai say whenever he it was finished. Right? Oh. So all of this is going to be finished whenever he comes back. Boom. All right, hey, Baba Kushai, you can pull the 2 Peter now if you would like. The 2 Peter 1 and 4.
Kind of the water from money. 2 Peter 4, you said?
No, 1 and 4.
This is 2 Peter chapter 1 and verse 4. It says, whereby are given unto us exceeding great and again, because the blessings in the old covenant, right? We're gonna get that and more, right? And more, and that's what Jake don't understand. Like Jake just want to, look like we doing some shit.
Nah, we gonna be doing some shit. It's like your brain is gonna be on overload. You're gonna use things and you're gonna do things that you can't perceive on this side, man.
It was a shadow of things to come. Matter of fact,
pull that.
Let's pull that too.
Hey, pull that too. Come back and finish that out.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever else you got, you got.
Yeah. Nah, you good. Because again, when you're reading in the spirit, brother, like the priests, the elders, everybody, like they make this point all the time, especially Elder Yashwan Bada Ariala. the scriptures are abridged. It doesn't give you everything.
No.
It gives you the important stuff.
What you need. It gives you what you need so you can understand and move on.
Yep. So when you read chapter Deuteronomy 28 and you read the curses and you read the blessings, though the blessings specifically, that was a shadow of things to come. You know, the fullness of that is going to be achieved when Yahushua comes and delivers the elect. That's why whenever you go to Deuteronomy 28, you know, just to expound on your point, you know, the blessings is only 14 or 15 verses. Boom. Yep. All right. And the curses is like the rest of it, 68. You know, you always 68. That's that's a lesson right there. Yeah. That's telling you that the Lord is basically saying, okay, yes, the blessings are coming. This is good. But you're gonna have to go, you gotta go through it. You gotta go through it. You know? Hey, beautiful point. I'm gonna just finish out in the 2 Peter 1. And we'll, you know, jump back to that Peter's finish. Yeah. And it says 2 Peter 1 and 4. It says, whereby are given unto us exceeding great and precious promises, that ye might be partakers of the divine nature. That's the 1 John 3 and 2 that we pulled a minute ago. You know, we're hoping to be like him. Not just in mind, but in spirit. Yeah, that too. In mind, body, and spirit. Everything. You know, we every fiber of our being. Okay, how about Shimei is about to elevate us. He's about to put us on the level. All right, where he is. Yep. And he was on that level from where his father was. Right. All right, and bro, we about to rule. But you got it. It says, whereby are given unto us exceeding great and precious promises, that by these ye might be partakers of the divine nature, having escaped the corruption that is in the more than what most people can perceive. Okay. Boom. I'm glad you said that. Let me keep reading on the 2 Corinthians 3, because the brother had made the point about people can't see this. Like, it's like when the Lord set it up to where when Paul was going into this stuff, breaking it down, when we're going into it now and we're breaking it down, it's like we're speaking another language. Yeah. People can't understand because there's a language barrier. Yeah. Spiritual block. A veil. Yeah. A veil or a mental block. Yep. You know? And that's what Paul's expounding on right here in 2 Corinthians 3. All right, 2 Corinthians 3 and 12, it says, seeing then that we have such hope, we use great plainness of speech, and not as Moses, which put a veil to the end of it, but their minds were blinded. For until this day remaineth the same veil, untaken away in the reading of the Old Testament, which veil is done away in Yahushua HaMashiach. That's a lot right there. Yep. That's a lot right there. And that's why faith is so important. Faith is the evidence of things hoped for. Yeah, I'm pulling it real quick. This is Hebrews 11 and evidence not saying. Yep. Hebrews 11 and 1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So we have, with the Lord is allowing us to see the plan. We can see it, but we just get a glimpse. Yep. Yeah. You know, like right. We see the alley-oop, the ball went in the air. What do? And you're supposed to react. Right. But hey, that was all the precepts I had. No, we can go back and finish that 2 Peter 4. There was more on that? I didn't think that you finished it, did you? Yeah, that was it. That was it. Yep. Well, I ain't got to. Yep. Well, you know, through the Spirit, I think the point was made. Want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakadash. Double honors again to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone.